Avi Meyers, Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine, Segment 2. I want to thank my entire technical crew, Sonny Hersh. Check us out on the web at www.ntnm.org, where you'll find a link to YouTube to be able to watch all our shows. Also like to remind you about community policing. We're real big on that. Sonny, my entire technical crew, is the chairman of the advisory committee of the 24th District of the Chicago Police Department. Go to caps24.org to find the community policing meeting in the 24th District, which is Rogers Park, West Rogers Park, and part of Edgewater. For the rest of the city, call 311, and they'll tell you where your meeting is. And speaking of things like the police and all that, we have, you know what, and I never got your whole name.
Jerry Elsner.
Jerry Elsner, who is the executive director
of the Illinois State Crime Commission Police Athletic League of Illinois.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. We've been talking so much, and I've enjoyed your company. I forgot to ask your last name.
Yeah, very few people ask my last name.
And by the way, it's not. Well, I want to thank Wanda Bernicke also. Am I pronouncing that right?
Brunke.
Wanda Brunke, you know, who I've been working with the Illinois State Crime Commission, and who's here also. And so tell us about the Illinois State Crime Commission.
Well, the Illinois State Crime Commission evolved from the DuPage County Crime Commission. We're the largest group of its type in the state of Illinois and in the country. As a matter of fact, now we're in America. We do everything from investigations to political action, such as writing legislation, to working with the Police Athletic League with disadvantaged children under the premise that if a kid's going to go places, he needs a place to go. We try to provide them with a place to go.
And tell us about the places.
Well, we have boxing clubs because what we're trying to do is we're after gang eradication. We want to actually eliminate the gangs, and if you we didn't want to reinvent the wheel, so we looked back to 1947. A Catholic priest named Father Shield, who ended up being Bishop Shield, and he started the CYO. And what was happening is the back of the yard section in Chicago, the Polish-American street gangs were running rampant. And he started putting boxing gyms in every Catholic church in the back of the yard. So what he did is he skimmed the cream of the gang crop off and brought them to church, which of course without the leadership in a church, the gangs faltered and fell apart, and it became a very safe area.
That's interesting. And by the way, you brought back some memories, because in my youth, I used to regularly get beaten up by the Polish Catholic kids, but that was the southeast side.
Oh, the southeast side, yeah, that had happened over there, but around South Shore High School,
right? That's my old neighborhood. Yeah.
Remember Carl's hot dogs?
Oh, I keep kosher, but that's okay.
Yeah,
No, I grew up. I'll tell you, I grew up at 77th and Essex, which is 2500 East.
Exactly.
My dad had his business at 88th and Commercial.
That was right near Ribs and Bibs and Carl's hot dogs and the rest of them right over there. Of course, they're near Rainbow Beach.
Yeah, Rainbow Beach we used to go to,
yeah.
And basically it was mostly Polish Catholics there. A lot of kids who went to Leo,
and more that went to Mount Carmel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you would know that better than me.
I would. I'm from actually the South Side, but
Yeah, no, I learned how to fight by getting beaten up.
Oh yeah, I think we all did. I lived in an Irish neighborhood. My name was Jerry Elsner, which was an invitation to a good beating. But I progressed so far as I became a professional fighter and a cage fighter.
Now, you were saying that before. Tell us something about that.
No, I've been involved with the mixed martial arts, and recently, 3 weeks ago, I competed with Big Country, 350-pound fighter out of Cleveland, Ohio.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a very, very difficult experience for him.
How'd you do?
I knocked him out in the first 26 seconds.
You're kidding?
No.
That's pretty good.
Well, for a 61-year-old guy, yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, you learned your lessons on the South Side.
I did. I learned it very well. But what we had a code of honor. And what we're trying to instill in children today is a code of honor, a code of ethics that, there are things you can do, but there's things you definitely don't do. We have to have a code of honor. You have to live by principles. Now, I live by the principle of God, family, and country. And a man's word, we try to teach our kids that a man's word is what he is. Your word is all you have. The only thing that you can take to the grave with you is your honor. And of course, you never leave your wounded behind. So we try to instill these virtues with
those
our
are
young
major
people.
virtues.
Major. If we can instill these principles, we've done our job.
I think that's great stuff. This is just water, but I'll drink to you.
Yeah, well, this is Coke, but I'll drink back.
So anyway, you've got a big event coming up.
We have our dinner, our annual dinner, 13th annual dinner. What we are is we're a not-for-profit, a 501c3.
Yeah.
That means that we don't have to bow to a politician. We don't have to. We're nobody's bootlicker, lackey, or toady. We don't have to. We've had politicians call me. I've had people in Springfield call me and say, "Jer, if I can find out who you work for, I'm going to fire you." And seriously,
I believe it.
I've also had other politicians call and say, "We funded you, and you better do this." Well,
Yeah.
we really don't have to do anything because we're completely self-sufficient. We raise our own money. We're 501c3. We deal with in certain principles, and we honor some of the best people in the state of Illinois. We honored people in Will County like James Glasgow, the state's attorney. In Cook County, Tom Dart, and guess what? We're going to honor you.
Oh,
yes.
Well, that's your mistake, but I do appreciate it.
And we don't think it's been a mistake.
Well, first of all, thank you. And get a load of the invitation here. I almost fell over. Getting the shot, Sonny, or okay. Anyway, and by the way, feel free to contact me to get your own copy of the invitation and attend this august occasion. By the way, you're also honoring some very worthwhile people besides for me.
Many, many, many. What we try to do is people that have made a difference, people that have stood their ground, people that have said, "I'm going to do the right thing only because it's the right thing to do," and for no other reason than it's the right thing to do. We've honored people. In fact, one of our members, J.B. Pritzker, from
we were talking about him before.
Yeah.
We both worked for him in the same campaign without knowing each other.
Yes, we did. We did. J.B. is a very good friend of mine, and J.B. has always been a man of principle. In fact, the whole Pritzker family has been remarkably principled.
Yeah. By the way, I worked with a couple guys named George and Al in that particular campaign, but we'll talk about that afterwards. And of course, Tom Dart that you mentioned was the one that Wanda called me to tell me that he's the one who nominated me. He's been a frequent guest on the show.
Right.
And I've also recognized, I started looking up your past honorees.
Right.
Anita Alvarez, who's our state's attorney, who's a frequent guest, has also been honored.
Yes, and just some of the finest people in the state of Illinois.
Feel free to mention the people who, the big honorees this year.
Well, I think you're the big honoree this year.
Well, I am 6'4".
6'4". We have what we need people like you to stand tall, to stand their ground, to do what's right because it's right. So many people, a lot of times we have situations develop because people won't take a stand. They won't stand for what's right. They'll avoid conflict, avoid confrontation. Go along with the crowd and allow injustices to happen. And look what happens throughout history when the injustices were allowed to happen. And we need people like you. We need people. The neighborhood needs people like you. We need your TV show because you're really, this is where the rubber meets the road. It's a community effort, and like the old Mayor Daley said, all politics is local politics. You're here. This is where it starts, right in this home, and it builds and builds and builds.
Well, thank you. And by the way, I also want to give credit to Sonny too, who he's behind the camera, but there's so much that he does on a regular basis in order to make sure that good things happen in the neighborhood. He, like me, is a sucker for doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do. And I think that's a very important thing, and that's one of the reasons why I'm very honored, and I think it's such a noble thing, what you're doing with the crime commission.
Speaking of noble things, I think I just saw Alderman Stone walk through the door.
Right, Alderman Stone, and we've also got President Terry O'Brien here from the Water Reclamation. It's been a good guy, and Joe Chucksey, who brought the Alderman.
Right.
He gets his name on 2 shows.
See, they know us. We know them because of the TV, but I'm from DuPage County. That you guys don't know me.
Yeah, by the way, one of the things I was looking up, because I actually don't know. I might wind up, by the way, ladies, this is your last chance to, get me to go on a date, and, you got a car, I need a ride over there that particular night. But I'll probably wind up bringing Sonny, who's my, even though Sonny's on the other end of the camera, he puts in his time. None of us get paid for this either. This is really it's not only non-profit for us, it winds up costing us money out of our pocket. But we like what we're doing, and we continue to do it. So it's something we enjoy. But yeah, I was looking up the directions on the MapQuest thing on the CTA site, and it basically said it would be like a 3-hour journey from here. I can take the metro to a certain point, then I walk for an hour and a half.
But no, see the beauty of Oak Brook Terrace. Number one, there are two things. Number one, Oak Brook Terrace is in beautiful DuPage County. Probably the finest county in America to live in. Seriously.
I think it's a terrific place. And by the way, it's the hub of a lot of activities there.
And I'm the former county administrator from DuPage County. But more than that, it's in probably one of the most beautiful cities in America, which is Oak Brook Terrace, in which I was the city manager. So I take responsibility for both the county and the city.
That's fine. And when I was a little kid on the south side, my dad used to take me to the Drury Lane, which is where you're at in Lake Villa. That was at 95th and Western at the time.
Yeah. And I grew up on the south side of Chicago.
No, that's for sure. So, look, I want to let everybody know this is it's Wednesday, June 24th. It's at the Drury Lane, Oak Brook Terrace. That's 100 Drury Lane Road, Oak Brook Terrace, Illinois. But you know what? If people want to check out the website or find out more about the Illinois State Crime Commission,
IllinoisCrimeCommission.com, you can go through 20 pages of our accomplishments, from investigations to youth outreach to what we have every year a backpack day, and this is what I think my proudest moment when finally I come to the end of the buffet table and you look at what you're proud of in your life. I have to look at the Operation Backpack. We have 2,500 families, hundreds and hundreds of children. We give a backpack with all school supplies, and a lot of the kids never have a new shirt or a clean shirt. And God, I'd hate to go to school the first day and have a hole in my shirt. So we give each kid a clean, brand new T-shirt. We give them about $100 worth of school equipment.
Nice.
And Jewel donated hundreds of gift cards last year. Dunkin' Donuts donated a lot of money, a huge amount of money. And, we're able to keep this going through the donations of some very, very, very good people. It's if you know of a family in need, we're out. We have it out at the county fairground in Wheaton every year, and it's a real good deal for everyone.
No, and you benefit a lot of kids. There's no question.
And we have over 100 volunteers.
Wow.
And they work a week or two on it.
I think that's absolutely terrific. I want to thank you very much, Jerry Elsner, the Executive Director of the Illinois State Crime Commission, and IllinoisCrimeCommission.com.
.com, yeah.
Okay, and I want to wish you all the luck with the situation. I want to thank everybody for tuning in this week on the Northtown Neighborhood News Magazine. I want to thank my first guest, Terry O'Brien. Tune in every week. Go to our website, ntnm.org. Thanks to my entire technical crew, Sonny Hersh. And see everybody. Bye-bye.